Hey everyone, it's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into. I'm gonna go into that in a little bit. That's an update on the playoff picture, but I wanted to go into because typically every couple days we do a recap, and it's been a very long while since we've done one. I usually do them when it's most relevant. It's easy to do them just all the time, but like I said, it's becoming more difficult. So anybody can watch back old videos and then, like I said, in the playlist, and you can see all of our picks. But what I wanted to go over is essentially the last week, only because it came up in the Discord, and it's a couple messages I've been getting, and someone brought it up today. Basically, clarification on my system and why I choose to bet the way I do, and when to stop certain sequences, and they find like when I explained it to them a certain way, I guess because I was speaking versus if they were like reading it or something, they said, "Oh, now I get it." So I just wanted to go over my system because I use the term legs, which I think people might misconstrue for parlays, and by sequence I just mean a betting system. So the goal on each one is to win $20 to $25. Okay, and by doing that, we would only need to lose. We could lose a 7 to 7. We could lose a 3-legger. Okay, so we could lose 3 in a row. We would lose 175. We only need 7.5 wins to get that back at 25. Now it's not always exactly 25, but the ratio has been way better than the 7 wins anyway. So I just went back to, I think here is just yesterday. I think this is Saturday. Okay, so yesterday, and we have college games and stuff we played as well. College basketball, they're in here as well. ISU, VCU, they're both college basketball. I put them in my Discord. There's just so many of them that I made a separate list for college because they have their own metric. And like I said, there's just so many of them. I don't want to make it until I can get a chart at least. I can get them all together. But just going back yesterday, so this is what happened. So we started off pretty slow. As you can see, Iowa State did not cover. VCU didn't. Miami didn't. We got USC later that night because, again, of the metrics between the college games that have been played, it made sense that USC, in my opinion, was going to win, especially after the Ohio State loss. But we only won 18, but that's okay because, again, we won that sequence. And you'll see with most sequences we win on, like, between the first and second leg, but some go to the third. This one, so that's 41. This one, that puts us at 60. Now, you can see this sequence, we lost 3 legs, okay? So we're at a net of minus 131, okay, as of this moment, sequence 200, over the last 4, not including all the ones before, just going at that random spot, just to show you, like, we could be, so over those last 4 sequences, bam, we hit that wall. Now, I could have continued and just done a leg 4 or leg 5, but again, we only need 7 wins for a 4-legged loss. We could say 8 or 9 if we're only winning 20, but for a 3-legged loss. For a 4-legged loss, we need 15 wins, and beyond that is almost impossible. So right now, with these ones from the same day, and then the Mavericks losing, they actually lost today. That was the 3rd leg today. I put it in there. But between that sequence, we're at minus 131. But you'll see in the meanwhile, Browns, so that puts it at 111. This one's still in play. Between these two, we picked up 40 more, putting it at 71 in the, minus 71. 43 more puts it at minus 30. And then these two just alone put us in the profit by about 20. And then this one's another 20. And these two are open. Now, that just shows how easily we can squash a 3-legged loss. Now, the second part is looking, okay, when's the last time we had a 3-legged loss? So we go back. We see a lot of these we got, like I said, on our second sequence. And again, we only need 7 or 8 wins. That's why we can close it out after 3 losses. So you can see it's been quite a while. We've got the 3 legs, but we've hit them. This one, okay, I just found this one. So this one we'll be putting on a 3rd leg because I guess it's an old one that I hadn't noticed. This was 350. What I do is it depends on how many sequences. Every, say, 12 sequences, what I'll do is just update it to show how much we've netted. But if you go back, it's been quite a while. We go about 20 before we go to it, before we lose 3 legs. I know it's coming up pretty soon Here, because it wasn't that long ago. It just we've made a lot of bets. Here is another 300 we had pocketed. So I'm just trying to go over the recap so you can see it's slow but steady, but it does win the race. Here's another second legger we got to move, so that's good. I like finding them. Honestly, I thought we had another three-leg. Oh, here it is. Okay, it was the Nets -4 was our last three-legged loss. And again, we could have done a leg 4, but I decided to close it out because look at the sequences before it the same day, 25, 25. This one, that's going to be 25, 22, 21. So just by that alone, it basically nullified this, 25, 25. So that's why, and not to sound braggadocious, I'm not the one who came up with the idea, but that's why I think the distinction in closing out a sequence after 3 legs, especially if you're going to go 4 legs, closing it out after the 4th leg, is the only way this system works. And it's not often we lose 3 legs. That's why when we do, I like to do the video. It's easy to just not show the ugly part, but when you see how the sausage is made, I think it really helps. So a lot of people seeing in live time, that might just occasionally watch, I wanted to show you that it would be easy to just double up again on this one and then double up again. But then we're playing against the system. Instead, we're going to accept the fact that just from the NFL today, we've basically squashed this. And then with all the other college picks and the NBA picks that we've closed out, we've profited. And that's why we've remained about 10x since going 10x. We've had a couple slumps, but we've closed them all out. Now this one, again, I decided to close out. And sometimes I'll do a 4th leg, but it really has to fit a metric I love. I'm not going to lie, I was thinking about picking the Mavericks as a 4th leg again, and I do think they cover in the next game, so I'll probably regret not doing that, but that's perfectly fine. I'd rather be conservative than be reckless, and I just bring this up because I just want people to understand that, because I know a lot of people that will play and they'll say, oh yeah, I've been doing the system, but then I saw this one game and bet 500 on there, or whatever the case may be. And I just, there's a reason I bet very specific amounts. I always play the metrics. The metrics, trust me, they hold over time. That's the reason I've been taking Dallas. Again, it doesn't always work out, but again, when you see a team right now, are they even rated? I honestly think this is weird. Oh, that's the over-under. I was gonna say that's weird. You just won't see this ever hold. So they're 22%. You can go back so far, and you're just never going to find that. So they're going to have to win quite a bit of games, and that's why I play the long-term metrics. They're going to have to win quite a bit of games just to get to that bottom average, which is usually 33%. They're 10% below that now, and we're a quarter into the season. Not a quarter, but we're pretty far into the season. So I just think it's very interesting. Actually, yeah, we are about a quarter into the season. So, yeah, to me, that's why I love the Dallas cover. Who knows? Maybe I'll unclose this and do them as a leg 4. If I do, I'll let you guys know. I just don't think it's worth the risk of having to win 15 sequences. But I wanted to basically just get that out there, that's the distinction, is understanding that there's going to be down days, up days. Today was good. We went 8-4 with picks as far as the teams. We missed an over, but I think we get that back because we're going to go with the Colts over, and I think that hits. But my point is, we're going to have down days. We had a really bad day. I think we had a great day Saturday. Or no, it was a bad day Saturday and a great day Friday. It was one or the other. And what happened was we finished very strong, and we wound up, again, with no, outside of this one here at the Mavs, which actually happened today, we didn't have any that we didn't finish out. We finished out USC. We finished out Kent State. The Thunder wound up going under. Kentucky missed. Ohio State missed. I missed on TCU. So we missed on so many. But I just trust the system. It makes it where I don't even have to really watch these games. And, I mean, if you want to watch the games, that's different. But if your goal is to not watch the games and just basically pick and understand over time you'll be fine, then I really do suggest, if you have to bet low units, whatever you have to do, just sticking with the system, betting the best metrics. And, a lot of people are telling me, oh, my gosh, no more Dallas. I'm done with Dallas. But, again, I'm going with the metrics, so I like them even more now. It doesn't mean I double up on them, but it means I think it's a great second leg. And like I said, I could make it a 4th, but I think it's a great second leg. They cover their next game because of that metric. So by sticking with the metrics, by understanding historical trends by looking at narratives, which really helped us today with games like between the traps and the trends, with games like Jacksonville, games like Washington, games like the Bucks, the Browns game, all those games, knowing the Dolphins at home, knowing the narratives, traps, just seeing obvious things really helped us. But then the long-term metrics also really helps. So knowing that's going to help. Like the Rams are now 2-8 against the spread, meaning going forward, they're not a bad team to pick the cover. It's one of the reasons I picked them today. They missed it at the end. But again, we might miss out on one team, but we're going to hit it on the other 9 that are, starting off with a 0 to 20% against the spread or on an over-under. So I just wanted to go over that because I know it's been a while since I've done an actual recap of the system. I could, I'm thinking about doing a video where I literally just start at the beginning and go all the way to, but I don't want to bore you guys. Anybody can look through it. But yeah, like every single sequence. Again, you can watch the playlist for this, but this is basically the gist. And you can see how long it took us to even hit our third leg and how many times we've pocketed 300. Because again, every 12 or 13 sequences, we're going to pocket between 2 and 300. There's 2 more. This one, I went 4 legs, and you see how we lost 475. That's the reason I advise to almost always close out after 3. We learned that lesson early on. We still stayed in the green despite that. And because of all of the plays and all the sequences. See, we played 2 4-leggers that accounted for almost $1,000 in losses. That had put us around 400 when we should have been at 1,400 a long time ago. And you see we just built our way back up. You can get discouraged over it. This was 300 because of all these mini sequences. So I know a lot of people look at one bet and they just, here was another 3-legger. We were able to hedge a little bit. But yeah, I know a lot of people just look at it and, oh, it's 25 here, but I lost this big one. But you have to treat them all the same, understanding that every 7.5 is going to nullify a three-legger. Here's another 4-legger we lost. So you can see we've had a bumpy road. But that, to me, every time we have a 3-legger or a 4-legger loss, I love to show it because then people can see why it holds up over time. You're not just seeing us win. You're seeing all of the downs too, which you can see we've had plenty of ones where just because of one sequence we've lost hundreds and hundreds. But we have to make sure we're playing the metrics, and I like the fact that we are 211 in and so far in the green. And there's, in my opinion, those metrics just hold for a reason. Again, we haven't played not one pick have we made because of the quote better team. I also think our record's around 60%, so I just wanted to go over this because to me the money management and the system is more important than the teams themselves. And I'm sorry if I haven't stressed that enough, because I know our picks have been on for a lot, so maybe people have taken, oh man, he really likes Russ, so I'm going to drop 500 on Denver. I don't want people to ever misconstrue that. So I just wanted to get this out there to show people that it's not that I don't have faith in myself. I just have more faith in these numbers, the long-term metrics, than I do that I'm going to beat Vegas on the reg. So this video obviously is, it's not the most fun if you've seen it already, but it's been requested by a few people to go deeper into it. And again, the essential thing is you start over with a new unit after each win, and after a loss, you essentially double up. After 3, you close it out. Sometimes you play 4, and if you're going to play any more than 4, then you need to play dozens and dozens and dozens of plays a day just to hope to get that back in a week's time. So I can go, in the Discord, I go into greater detail as far as the numbers. It will change depending on how you play. You can use parlays and use the system too. So I know a lot of people that keep missing parlays by one team. You're getting plus odds. So you can go 5, 6, 7 legs deep into a parlay. Or 7 units, levels, whatever you want to call it. So, there's definitely ways to play it. I just want to really encourage the system because today was a perfect example. The Mavs was a tough loss for a lot of us. We had it as leg 3s. But just because of smart football picks, we still finished and negated that and finished with some green between that and our college picks and our yesterday picks. So that's just what I like, and it's never finished because, like I said, this is continuously going. So it's not like we're just gonna stop one day. But I just mean as far as sequence 200, not great. But between the couple games before and after that, immediately we forget about it. So it's good we don't dwell on any one game. It's not fun to lose a three-legger, but when we do, I like to show people that we only need 7 or 8 wins afterhand to nullify that. And we have some open sequences, but for the most part, we closed these out and we got them. So we'll be playing probably Colts over on sequence 212 for leg 2. I'm loving the Mavericks because these are metrics again. Teams are going to be fading them, the Mavericks. Metrics that don't hold. So even though we did lose a 3-leg on them, it doesn't mean I just don't play them ever again. I think that would be foolish. And they're going to win, of course, when we don't. So, I hope this was helpful to people that are really trying to get the money management side down of things, because it really does help. And I wanted to explain what I mean by sequences, what I mean by legs, and what I mean by closing them out and by units. Because I know people have different variations of what a leg is. Some think a leg is, and to some a leg is. In a parlay, it's you're playing 2 different teams at the same time. But for me, a leg is a step up in the sequence. So there's different ways to word it, but I wanted to do. This is probably the most in detail I've gone into it, and I think it's definitely time that I do with as many people, new people watching and doing bets of their own, so they can see exactly my rhyme and reason and why it's been working. You can always watch the playlist if you don't believe any of these. You watch all of these picks that we made ahead of time. But I'm pretty sure at this point anyone watching understands that we've been the most transparent channel that there could be. So, as I always say, happy earnings, and just like I said, if you continue sticking with the system, today we went 8 for 4, but we could have honestly gone 4 for 8 and still finished pretty good. Not as good, but with the system, that's what makes it amazing. 8 and 4 makes it where it's a cakewalk. But if it's not a great day, we still finish with a good day. So that's the biggest thing I can take away, and the closing out after the 3rd or 4th leg. That's a big deal. A lot of people just keep doubling up, or they get tilted and throw a ton in to get all their money back. After all that hard work, we're not going to do that. So I hope this helped for people that are a little newer with the system, or just wanted like a little bit of a refresh, or wanted to see some of the older ones that maybe, they joined the channel afterwards. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.